The boy looked up at the police officer and asked a question no one expected. Are you going to leave me too? He wasn't his father. He wasn't even supposed to stay. But the answer he gave that night would change both their lives forever. Rain poured heavily over the city, turning the streets into blurred reflections of flickering lights. Officer Zain Ahmed tightened his grip on the steering wheel as his patrol car moved slowly through the storm. Nights like this were unpredictable. Quiet one moment, chaotic the next. The radio crackled. A disturbance reported near the railway bridge. Possible miner involved. Zain sighed softly. On my way. The railway bridge wasn't a place people stayed. It was the kind of place people passed through quickly, without looking too closely. But that night, someone had stayed. Zain stepped out of the car, rain soaking through his uniform almost instantly. Hello, he called out. No response. Then he saw him. A small figure sitting under the bridge, knees pulled close to his chest. Alone. Zain approached slowly. Hey, kid, what are you doing out here? The boy didn't move. Didn't look up. Zain crouched down, lowering his voice. It's not safe to be here. Finally, the boy lifted his head. His face was dirty, his clothes damp, his eyes distant. I know, he said quietly. Zain felt a strange heaviness settle in his chest. What's your name? The boy hesitated. Then answered. Samir. Samir, Zain repeated gently. Where are your parents? A pause. Longer than expected. I don't have one, Samir said. Zain blinked. You don't have either of them. Samir shook his head. Mom left, he said. Dad. I don't remember. The words were simple. But they carried weight far beyond his age. Zain glanced around the empty bridge. How long have you been here? Samir shrugged. Since yesterday. I think. Zain closed his eyes briefly. A child. Alone. In the rain. For that long. Come on, Zain said gently, standing up. Let's get you somewhere warm. Samir didn't resist. Didn't question. He just followed. At the station, everything moved quickly. Reports. Questions. Procedures. But Samir didn't say much. Didn't ask for anything. Didn't cry. That was what stayed with Zain the most. Children cry when they believe someone will come. Samir had already stopped believing. Do you have any relatives? Zain asked later. Samir shook his head. Anyone at all? Silence. Zain leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. Another case. Another file. Another child lost in a system that moved forward, whether they were ready or not. He should have let it go. That's what officers do. They handle the situation. Then move on. But something about Samir didn't let him. That night, as Samir sat quietly in a corner of the station, Zain found himself watching him. Not as a case. Not as responsibility. But as something else. A reflection. Because years ago, Zain had been that boy. Waiting. Hoping. Being left behind. And he remembered one thing clearly. The moment he stopped asking for help. Because asking meant expecting. And expecting meant being disappointed. Zain looked at Samir again. And in that moment, he made a choice he wasn't supposed to make. Samir was transferred to temporary care the next day. Safe. Fed. Sheltered. But not home. Zain knew that. Because he had been there once. And something inside him refused to let this become just another forgotten story. So he went back. At first, it was simple. A visit. A check-in. A conversation. Samir didn't react much at the beginning. Just nodded. Answered when asked. Stayed quiet. But Zain didn't push. He stayed. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into something more. Samir began to open up. Slowly. Carefully. He talked about small things. Things that didn't matter to most people. But meant everything to him. What do you want to be when you grow up? Zain asked one day. Samir thought for a moment. Then said. I don't know. Zain smiled faintly. That's okay. You don't have to know yet. Samir looked at him. Then asked. Why do you keep coming back? The question caught Zain off guard. He thought for a moment. Then answered honestly. Because someone should. Samir didn't respond. But something in his expression changed. A shift. Small. But real. Time passed. And the connection grew stronger. But reality remained. Samir needed a permanent home. A family. And Zain wasn't his father. He wasn't required to do more. Wasn't expected to. But sometimes, life isn't about what you're expected to do. It's about what you choose. The decision wasn't easy. Paperwork. Interviews. Doubts. Are you sure about this? His senior asked. This is a lifetime commitment. Zain looked at Samir across the room. Sitting quietly. But no longer empty. I know, Zain said. And I'm not walking away. Months later. Everything changed. Samir